It's good to be here with the home team. I had someone come up to me earlier and said, "Are you a Cleveland Indians fan?" And I said, "I'm just wearing this hat to trigger liberals." Listen, I know it's been a long afternoon, so I'm not going to give a big stem winder or read War and Peace to you. I'm going to keep this short and tight and just tell you what I stand for. In the U.S. Senate, I will work hard to abolish the ATF. Crush any attempts in the federal government or the state government to push forward red flag laws. Crush any attempts to put bans on magazines. Crush any attempts to put bans on any type of weapons whatsoever. I'm also a strong fighter for constitutional carry. I think it's garbage that an American citizen needs to have some type of license to get a concealed carry license. We already have that license. It's called the Second Amendment to the United States Constitution. Listen, in this country right now, we're in a fight. We're in a fight against the radical left who are trying to take away our guns. We're in a fight against the secular left, which is trying to take God out of all aspects in our life. My feeling is we shouldn't be watering down on our Judeo-Christian values. We should be doubling down on those Judeo-Christian values and instilling God in all aspects of the classroom, of work, and of society. So while that is a fight against the radical left and the secular left, I would submit to you that we have an equally important fight. And that equally important fight is against these squishy establishment Republican rhinos who are providing cover for the Democrats. I'm going to play something for you. I'm not sure if this is going to, if this is going to work here on the microphone, but I'm going to try this. I'm going to play something, and you got to guess whether this is a Democrat or a Republican saying this.
And definitely some people who voted for Trump were racist, and they voted for him for racist reasons. There is definitely an element of Donald Trump's support that has its basis in racism or xenophobia. And definitely some people who voted for Trump were racist, and they voted for him for racist reasons. There is definitely an element of Donald Trump's support that has its basis in racism or xenophobia.
Who knows who that is? Hold on. Shout out the name.
J.D. Vance.
Correct. That is J.D. Vance. Anybody know who he is?
There's a guy with a t-shirt on all the time.
Yeah, that guy left because he didn't want to hear that video played. J.D. Vance, listen to this. He went around Ohio and America calling us as Trump voters, us as conservatives, us as lovers of liberty. He called us racist. And he did it while Hillary Clinton was calling us deplorables. So this guy was reinforcing Hillary Clinton's message. And now he's running for the United States Senate against me in the Republican Party. Think about that for a second. This guy's a sleeper cell. And so this is it. Here's the choice. The Republican Party is at a crossroads. Are we going to elect more Mitt Romneys, Liz Cheney's, J.D. Vance's?
No.
Or are we going to elect more Jim Jordan, Ted Cruz, Donald Trump, Josh Mandel? That's the question before us, ladies and gents. And listen, there's a lot of folks in the Republican Party that say, oh, you know, if only they could work together more. Let me tell you this. Now is not the time for bipartisanship. Now is not the time for civility. Now is the time for fighters.
Right.
We got to send fighters to Washington. And that's what I am. I'm a Marine Corps vet. I did a couple tours in Iraq. When I was state treasurer, I was John Kasich's worst nightmare. Now I'm running all over the state. I'm Mike DeWine's worst nightmare. Taking on this tyrant who wants to advance red flag laws, who wants to take away our guns, who wants to put masks on our kids, who wants to trample our liberty. And people say to me, they say, Josh, you're running for U.S. Senate. Why are you always going after Mike DeWine? And what I say is, listen, I don't care if it's the President of the United States, a governor, congressman, county commissioner, dog catcher, whatever it is. If that person is trampling on our liberty, I will be their worst nightmare. Let me finish off by saying this. And if you forget everything I say, just remember this one thing. When I get to Washington, I'm going to make decisions with two documents in hand. With the Bible in one hand and the Constitution in the other. Thank you very much. Chuck, you want me to do Q&A, or you want to, you can give me the cane. I know Scott and Terry are here. Your show, whatever you want to do.
Take a couple questions.
Yeah, I'll take a couple questions. All right. Hit me.
Yeah, I don't know about your district, but the post office is a disaster. They need to be privatized and eliminated altogether. They've grown every year. The government gives them billions of dollars to continue losing money. Enough's enough. We need competent people delivering our mail so we don't have to wait for our neighbor to bring our mail over to us.
Listen, it is one of the agencies, I agree, that's completely incompetent and could never stand up in the private sector. But there's a bigger issue here. And this is what I'm going to do when I get to Washington. I'm going to post on the wall of my office the United States Constitution. And right next to it, I'm going to post an organizational chart of the federal government. And for every agency, sub-agency, bureau, department, all these departments we've never even heard of in the bowels of the federal government, I'm going to work with people like Rand Paul and Thomas Massey and Jim Jordan and others to try to eliminate all these departments that are never called for in the Constitution. Because what happens is politicians, Democrat and Republican, over time, and it happens in state government, it happens everywhere, they create these departments and agencies. And then the bureaucrats, the deep state in there, they keep growing them because they got to justify their existence and perpetuate their funding. And we need warriors going to Washington to cut their funding and eliminate them whole hog. That's what it's about.
Yep.
Let
Take a question from Steve there.
Yep, Steve.
Well, quick question. Is that a pocket constitution I see in your back pocket?
That is a pocket constitution in my back pocket. That's a good question. Is that your question? All right. Hey, let me do a plug for Steve's group. I met Steve for the first time this afternoon. His group is called Project Appleseed. Come up here for a minute. You got to hear what they do.
That's the next speaker. Go ahead and introduce him.
All right, he's next up.
No, introduce him. Go right ahead. Introduce him.
They do 52 weapons training a year throughout the state. Kids, families, anyone from 8 years old to 80 years old and everything in between. And in between firearms handling and weapons training, they teach American history. Going back to April 19th, 1775. Here, take it for a second.
Which the schools do not.
Which the schools do not anymore, exactly. And they talk about how we're a country based on a tradition of marksmanship. That but for liberty and but for armed men and women, we wouldn't be here right now. Welcome. All right, listen. I'm going to finish up with this. You guys have these cards in front of you, right? My Second Amendment cards. Take out your cell phones, because I want you guys to be able to hold me accountable and stay in touch with me, and I want to be able to stay in touch with you as well. Take out your cell phones real quick. If you see on this card, it's got a number. So take out your cell phone like you're going to send a text message. I'm going to have you send me a text message, and then we'll be able to text you back, and we can just stay in touch this way. So take out where you send a text. It's very easy to see. The phone number you're going to text to is real easy. 48, 48, 48. That's it. So let me repeat it. Send a text to the number 48, 48, 48, and in the word in the text, just put Josh. So the phone number is 48, 48, 48. Just put Josh in there, hit send. We'll send you messages, you can text me, and that way we can stay in touch. Because listen, we got to hold politicians accountable. One of the great things I see here is, there's a video camera there, there's a video camera here, there's people videoing. These phones we have, these turn us into citizen watchdogs. So whenever you got politicians coming to you and asking for your vote, make sure you ask them their positions on all these issues I talked about, and you video them. Because what happens is, they say one thing when they're trying to get you to vote for them, but then they go to Columbus and they go to Washington and they get amnesia. Or put another way, they go to Washington to do good, and then they stay in Washington to do well. Put money in their pocket, their friends, their family, their lobbyist cronies. And that's why I say, it's not just time to drain the swamp, it's time to blow up the swamp. Thank you very much.